What's going on, Washington fans? It is draft eve. We are just at almost 24 hours away. We'll hit that 24-hour mark while we are live tonight. It's crazy how fast this comes up when you're actually good. This used to be like the only thing we had to look forward to as Washington fans. And now that we're good, this is just like an added bonus. This is exciting. Let me bring my desk down a little bit more. But guys, we're gonna just talk about the draft. We'll, I don't know, look through some mock draft stuff. Maybe we'll look at some prospects. We'll talk, answer any questions y'all have. You name it, we're gonna talk about it. Probably for the next hour, maybe two. We'll see what happens. But guys, I'm so ready. Like it hit me this morning. I woke up. And I have to say this. The NFL draft is my favorite event out of the entire year. I don't care about the Super Bowl until we're there. But man, the NFL draft, this is where it all started for me. The NFL draft is where my true love for doing all this really started. And I know a lot of people love the draft, but I can't express, how excited I am. And I have to shout you all out. This has been the best offseason in my career ever. Like ever. There's so much going on behind the scenes that y'all have no idea about that I am so excited about. So excited about things coming to this channel. Personally, I've been writing for USA Today for the Commanders Wire, and I just cannot thank y'all enough for the support and everything. This offseason has been insane. There's still so much more to come up. Tomorrow's also the exact 2-week mark until I'll be back in Virginia. So I'll be at practices. I'll be at training camp. Y'all are going to get so much more out of me, y'all. You have no idea. So I'm excited. So shout out to y'all. Let's get to the chat. Let's start talking about some things. Some stuff popped up today. We're going to talk about, get y'all's thoughts on Washington trading back with the Giants. I'm excited. We'll talk about it. What's going on, Jonathan? What's going up, Twin? JT, the other JT. Frost 40. What's going on? What's going on? Hail. Paul said, what's good, Josh? How you feeling on this amazing daughter? I think you meant day before draft night 1 with a QB. It is a different feeling not having to worry about that. And it was refreshing. If you didn't listen to Adam Peters' press conference yesterday, go back through, listen to it. He didn't say much, but he also said a lot at the same time. So just really, I felt so good. It's so refreshing just listening to Peters talk, even Newmark talk. We're in great hands. That is all I know. We are in amazing hands, and I'm so excited for tomorrow. Even if we trade back from 29, I will not be mad. I know some people are like, oh my God, I don't want to stay up all night just for us to trade back. I would watch the entire thing if we only had a 7th round pick. I do not care. I love the draft so much. But it does feel good not having to worry about a quarterback. It's good knowing that we can draft the best players that will make an immediate impact and be part of the long haul for this team. Shop Charles, smash that like button. Appreciate you. Make sure you're subbed up. Make sure you subscribe. And make sure you hit that thumbs up. I will be live, by the way, for every single pick. Every single pick. If y'all remember those long streams we did for free agency, we were live for like 6, 7, 8 hours. I mean, there were some long streams we did for free agency. And this is even crazier, the draft, because it's just nonstop. I'll be live for every single pick. So tomorrow, Friday, and yes, all day Saturday, rounds 4, 5, 6, 7, I will be live. I will be reacting to every single pick, not just Washington's, but literally every pick. I cannot wait to see. This is the deepest dive of the draft I've ever done in my career too. Just because I was allowed to do it full time now, and I mean I've been breaking down this draft class since May, so almost exactly a year, to be honest with you. So I'm so excited to really see every single pick. So I will be live tomorrow night, Friday night, and all day Saturday, and bring some more articles out as well along the way. So stay tuned for that. What's going on, Random? Welcome. Jonathan and Josh has made this offseason so much better. I appreciate it. Y'all have made this so much fun, man. We have so much coming up. You have no idea. I'm so excited to tell y'all some more stuff. Abel says tomorrow is the best time of the year. This is Christmas, you can save it. Thanksgiving, you can save it. NFL draft season, end of April. And I'll probably go to the draft next year because it's in Pittsburgh. It was just too close to me moving and expenses. And, me moving back's about to cost me like $4K. So it's not cheap. And the draft, like we didn't have a lot of picks. So I wasn't that interested in going to Green Bay anyways. There ain't shit in Green Bay. Pittsburgh is not a lot either, but it's better than Green Bay, so I'll take it. But definitely going to be going to the draft next year. Have like a little full tux going on, be repping while we're there. Jackson says, will Peters stick to high RAS scores like last year? Or are there any guys you think that could cause him to break his tendency? I think that is a notable thing. And shout out to MathBomb, because I know there were people talking about it yesterday. I forgot who it was. Maybe it was like the Packers GM was like, oh, we don't use RAS scores. We use another like metric thing. Pretty much the exact same thing as relative athletic scores. But one thing, I don't think it's just like a trend for AP, but I know they were really high on Bucky Irving, and Bucky Irving had a terrible relative athletic score last year. It was like a 3-point something or a 4-point something. It was bad. So if they would have been able to draft Bucky Irving, and that's, it came out like in the middle of the season or whatever, into the season, they really wanted Bucky Irving. It would have thrown that whole relative athletic score off. So I don't think it's like hey, he doesn't meet this. And there's also a lot of different things. There's guys who have been injured that are doing these, things like Xavier Restrepo with his 40 time. Like, how much are you putting weight into that? Or like Will Johnson, like same, like didn't run a good 40 time. Like the relative athletic score isn't good. So I'm not saying it's like a threshold by any means. Like, oh, you have to have this kind of score for Adam Peters to like you. I don't think that's the case at all. I'm not saying it's also a coincidence last year, but last year they really wanted some athletes. They had to fill out the roster. They wanted some guys who could compete year one, and they got a bunch of that. I think there's a good bit in this draft class where it's like, okay, they might not have that high relative athletic score. Like I said, some injury guys, or maybe just some guys that are a little smaller compared to like the other guys in the draft with relative athletic scores that are higher, but still, I think they would prefer to go higher, but not every player is going to meet that threshold. Charles said he might be moving back to VA as well, man. Come on. I've been trying to recruit everybody back out there. Everybody acts like Virginia is awful, but it's not, man. I love it. Let's see. Paul said being in great hands with Allstate ain't it anymore. Being in good hands with AP is the vibe. It's so refreshing just listening to him talk yesterday. And it gets me fired up. Him, like I said, Newmark. And then our one thing that hasn't been talked about enough is like the new scouting department that they brought over. Completely refreshing. I mean, the one guy, I forgot his name, like won the award this offseason. This is his 40th draft. That's nuts. That's goals. That is exactly what I want. First off in the team, but me personally, I don't know if I'd want to be a scout, but still, like, man, that's big. So just seeing AP do his work, seeing Newmark do his work, and then seeing all of our scouts. Me and Mason, when we were at the Senior Bowl, we snuck over to the other side of the scouts, and we were sitting like right next to the Washington scouts. I'm like looking at who they're looking at. I'm watching AP talk to some GMs on the field. He was actually talking to Lynch from the 49ers at the time, shortly before they traded for Debo. But it was just cool seeing the Washington scouts do their thing with the little notebooks and who they're watching and stuff. So it was interesting. But man, what a refreshing change it has been, man. Gosh, I trust anything they do. We could take a D tackle at 29 and I would trust it. Especially if it's Derek Harmon. I love Derek Harmon. JT said I watched the draft as an event, not just for the picks. Exactly. This is like my Olympics. The draft isn't just like, okay, I'm waiting. I'm going to come back when like the Washingtons are on the clock or whatever. Heck no. My guys, I'm going to be going live this at, 7 o'clock on the dot or whatever time zone you're in. As soon as the draft starts, I will be live. I'm going to have it right here. I'm going to have it on my screen. I'm going to have it on my phone. Like, I'm going to have it everywhere so we don't miss anything. But man, I love it. Donovan Ezraku and Travion are both on the board at 29. Who do you take and why? Oh, I am taking Donovan Ezraku at 29 because he's the higher ranked player for me. Not just because it's a need, because I think they're both obviously in need. But overall, I have Donovan Ezraku graded as a high second round. I have Travion as more of like a mid second round. But that being said, people are like, oh, we're gonna take a second round guy in the first. Like, there's only about 9 or 10 players in this entire draft that have a first round grade from a lot of people. It's not like the entire first, there's not like there's 32 players graded with the first round grade. It's not the case at all this year. There's some even have like only 6 players that are worth a first round grade. That doesn't mean you're not going to take them. Or it's not saying that getting them in the first is bad. It's just how this draft is. So when you hear a lot of people talking about, oh, the values in the second, oh, the values in the third, people are like, that doesn't make sense. What do you mean the values in the second, the values in the third? Your value should be your first round pick. Like, that's just how this draft is. Every single draft is completely different. But the guy you're getting at 29 and the guy that could be there at 40 to 45, that grade is a lot closer together than what that usually is in years past or in other drafts. Usually that guy at 29 has a better chance of being a first round grade guy, and that guy at 40 might be a late second, might be an early third, who knows? But usually that's how it is. But this draft is different, and I just want fans to really understand that. So I've been putting out some tweets saying like, oh, AP is going to draft the guy that fits the scheme, the guy that fits this, not just like a needs-based. If Derek Harmon is there at 29 and he's the highest ranked player on the board and he fits, I'm not just saying like the consensus board, like the board you see on ESPN when you're watching the draft, like here's the best players available. I'm talking about Washington's board. So if Derek Harmon is the highest ranked player they have on their board at 29 and everyone else is like down here, they're not going to just skip over Derek Harmon and say, nah, we don't really need that. Let's go get, somebody else at this position. Let's get a corner that we had ranked, lower than Derek Harmon. So that's just something like I've been saying. It's been getting confused a little bit by people. When I say board, there's a big difference between Washington's board and the players that fit what they want to do, but then also just the big board consensus, like the actual, the thing you see at the bottom of the screen when the draft's going on. So just know, in this draft, if you want to hit on the players, you're going to take the guys that fit your scheme, that fit your team, your culture, your locker room, everything. And one thing that AP said yesterday at his press conference, I love this transparency. Someone, I forgot who it was. Maybe it was Lake Lewis. I can't remember. Maybe it was Lake. But someone asked, how much influence do your coordinators have in your picks? And AP said a lot. He said a lot, because if we have two guys, that we're trying to decide between and they're similar, like they're close in grade, they're not like giant leaps of a, tier above or whatever. He said, look, we have to say 2 wide receivers. And he goes to Cliff and says, hey, between these 2 guys, which one do you feel like fits what we have here? Which one do you think you could do more with? Not just like, he's good, but I have no idea what we're going to do with him. Or like, hey, he's good, and this is what we could do for him. We could put him in the slot. We can do this. He's good on screens, everything. I loved hearing that honesty and transparency from AP, because some people be like, oh, you're just going to take the best player and make it work. Some teams do that. And that's the guys that usually end up as bust. Tyree Wilson with the Raiders. I could go a long list of players that just haven't worked out. But you're trying to take this square prospect and put them in a round hole, and it just doesn't fit. At some point, yeah, if you're really, really good, you're, Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter, whatever, then there's a chance that you could make it work. Or you just kind of change it up to where you make sure he succeeds. But a lot of times you get this player like, oh, he's the best one. We have to get him. He's the best player on the overall board, not our board, but the overall board. Maybe we should talk ourselves into this. And that's something AP said too. What you don't want to do is spend time talking yourself into a pick. Like, maybe we overthought this guy. Maybe we should be higher on this guy than we were because he's in need. That's the two things that AP said I absolutely loved hearing. You don't talk yourself into a prospect just because he's ranked higher or just because it's a need. You take what you think you really need on your board. Who is on your board? Who is your guy? Who's going to fit the job that you need done? If you need a certain corner, let's just say you run a heavy man coverage corner. You need a press man corner, and the best one's ranked like 40th, but there's a corner ranked like 25th, but he's terrible in man, and he's really good in zone. You can't expect to draft that guy that's at 20 and say, hey man, sorry, but you're going to be playing a ton of press man. Good luck. And just expect him to play better than the guy you could have took that fits well. His traits fit the need that you need and gets the job done that you need done. So I just want people to think about that. When I say board, it's different than Washington's board. So Washington's board is different than the actual big board and like what you see on ESPN. And this is the kind of draft where if you want to hit on your picks, if you have 5, 6, 7, 12, hell, like the Ravens have like 20, it seems like, whatever. Jags, all those teams have a ton. Eagles have a ton. If you want to hit on picks in this draft, that's why you're going to see guys that you thought were going to be taken at like 40, taken at like 60, and guys you thought were going to be taken in like the 60s, taken in like the late 30s or the early 40s, because teams are going to take who can actually come into the roster, make a difference, and not just like, oh, he's the generational talent. This is what we should do. This is the guy. He's ranked higher, so let's talk ourselves into it. What can we do? And I do have something I wanted to share with y'all. I'm just checking Twitter real quick. And so yeah, like I said, we're gonna talk about the Giants. We're gonna talk about the Browns, like a trade back, whatever. Slick Rick, he's been putting out his tweets saying that Washington's, fielding calls, which Adam Peters said yesterday. Between today and tomorrow, their board is set. They're just taking calls. Abel said, how many picks do you think we going to end up with by the end of the draft? I don't think it'll be 5. I really don't. Whether it's 29 or 61 that we trade back from. If we trade back from 29, let's just say the Giants, you get pick 99, and that's it. Or pick 99 plus 30, what do they have, 35? Or 34. I think they have 34. Let me see something. Maybe it's 34. Let me check. I'm on PFF right now. Yeah, they have pick 34. So say we trade back from 29 for 34, and then you get 99 with it. So then we'll have 6 picks. I think it's going to be anywhere between 6 to 8. I'd be surprised if it's 8. I think AP would want to defer. If you're going to be getting 3 picks in a package, I would defer to one of them being next year, just because you don't have a lot of picks next year. We only have 5 picks next year as well. We have a first, a third, a fifth, a sixth, and a seventh. We don't have a second or a fourth next year because of the trades we did. So I feel like if you can, you wouldn't get it from the Giants, but I'm just saying if you go with the Saints, if you trade back from the Saints, that package is going to be, I think you could get a fourth next year. I don't know what their exact picks are, but you can just add it to it. But a trade back with the Browns where you're only going back 4 spots, or with the Giants 5 spots. I've seen some people on Twitter say like, oh, my starting offer is like, we need the second that we're trading back to, a third and a fifth. Like, guys, that's not realistic. That's not going to happen. As much as I would love that to happen. For me, in my opinion, trading back to 34, let the Giants come get Jackson Dart at 29. That's fine. I don't care. Whatever. But getting 99, that's awesome. So you would have 34, 99, or 34, 61, 99, 128, 205, 245. I think that's a hell of a haul. I just did a mock draft a second ago before I hopped on here, and I was like, damn, I really like this draft. Not going to lie. I had Trayvon Henderson at 34. 61, I took Andrew Bakuba. 99, I took Ashton Gelati. 128, I took Miles Frazier. 205, I took Jason Marshall Jr. And 245, I took, who was it? Eugene Asante, linebacker out of Auburn. So I like that. I like that haul. That's what I'm looking at. That 99 pick is so valuable. The Browns, I don't even know what they have. Let me see. You're not going to get 94. You'll get 104. You'll get 104 if you trade back to 33. If you can get 94, that is a major fleece. Going back 4 spots, and they just come up to 29. 104, in my opinion, that's still a hell of a pick. I would love that. You're getting a guy that should make a big time impact on your team next season for picking my 104 in this draft. So, as of right now, the smoke for teams calling up to Washington at 29. I've heard the Browns and the Giants. I've seen many people, reporting smoke of that even early this morning, and then a lot more stuff. Not even just Rick tweets and some of these burners that. Damn, he said Kirby Joseph was about to get paid the highest safety in the league, and it literally just happened. So we'll see. But people are saying Browns, Giants, and Saints, those calls have started to ramp up because those teams want to come back up into the first. They don't know where, but up into the first to get a quarterback. So it does make sense. So I want to say 6, and that extra pick is super valuable. I'll take that all day long. 6 might not seem like a lot to people, but that's a lot to me. If you're getting 99, hell yeah, count me in. Trade back and take Judkins, the running back. I love Judkins. I don't know why Washington fans don't like Judkins. They think he's another B-Rob. That's not the case at all. Judkins might be the best athletic running back in the class. Like, I know he doesn't have that long speed, but the dude's a freaking monster. Tore it up in the Big Ten, tore it up in the SEC at like 19 years old as a premier back at Ole Miss. What's going on, Big E? Yo, my boy JTFB from the 803. Dude, I can't stop thinking about us drafting Henderson, Kyle Williams, and either 7th round pick on Chris Tyree. I like Chris Tyree too, or pick him up as UDFA. We'd have the most electrifying offense. I'd love it, man. Chris Tyree, cool dude, played at UVA, Notre Dame. I would love Kyle Williams. You're probably going to have to take him at 61 if he's still there. I forgot who it was. Oh, yeah, I was watching the PFF show, and Mike Renner said that he had Kyle Williams ranked above, was it Golden or Ted McMillan? It was one of them. But he said he was like, he was wide receiver like 2 or 3. I was like, dang. I thought I was high on Kyle Williams. He is really high on Kyle Williams. Ryan said, do you think we draft an edge at 29 if we don't trade back? If Starks is there, Golden or James Pierce, do you see us taking one of the other guys? If those are the 3 I'm picking between, I mean, and to be honest with you, I like Golden a lot. That's a tough one though. I talked to a couple people literally just a second ago, had him ranked in like the 40s, late 40s, which is where I think Igbuka is better than him. I think Burden's better than him. I think Tet's better than him. I still think he's really good. Dang, that's a tough one. James Pierce, he's such a wild card for me, but the talent-wise, he's the best of the 3. And then Starks, I think he's phenomenal too. Young guy, really good ball skills. That's tough. It would be hard to pass up on Golden. If all 3 are there at 29, it would be hard to pass up on Gold. As much as I would want to, I don't know if I could. 757 Outlaw King, what are your thoughts about the D tackle from Kentucky, Deion Walker? Big dude. Talked to him at the Senior Bowl a bunch because I like him. He's like, what, 6'6", 6'7"? Giant man. Played most of the season last year with a bad back, he told me. So, but before that, man, he was a top 15 pick going into last year. That's one thing that like blows my mind. Like I said, Jason Marshall Jr. was a first rounder before he got hurt. Siobhan Revel was definitely a first rounder before he got hurt. Benjamin Morrison was a first rounder before he got hurt. So that's something you have to think about. These guys, like, yes, you're watching tape on 2024, but go back to 2023. Ollie Gordon too. Go back, watch what changed. Was it scheme? Was it, look at the context. Was it a new coordinator? Did new coach? Like, what happened? Was he hurt? Like, what made this player look bad last year? And like I said, when I talked to him, he was like, man, I played with a bad back majority of the season, which at his size, it's not ideal. Guys getting up under his pads and pushing him back, putting a lot of stress on his back. He's not one of these shorter D tackles where he's just straight up using his legs. He's got to get up or hunch over a little bit and get up under there with his back. But man, if you can get him, If he falls to 128, hell yeah. I probably wouldn't take him at 61 just because I want us to fill out some more other positions first. You know, maybe if you trade back 99, like I would not be mad getting a D tackle. Like I said, Derek Harmon, if he's there at 29, I'm all for it. I love Derek Harmon. I think he's a top 15 pick. So if you're getting him at 29, hell yeah. But he has a medical concern too that kind of came up late that not a lot of people talked about. So I've seen some like Todd McShay call Harrison a slot corner. Do you think he can play outside also? I think I'd probably prefer him as an outside guy, to be honest with you. Everyone's acting like he's so small. He's like 195 pounds. He's almost 200. Like he on his IG story the other day, he weighed in and showed, like, took a picture of it. It was like 196 or something like that. I don't know why people like watch him play and like, oh, that's going to be Emmanuel Forbes. Like, I don't think they're even close to the same player. I think, you know, they're both feisty in college. They're both physical. Harrison is much better in my opinion. I think he's definitely in play at 29. You know, from what I heard, like they did like him. Showed a lot of interest in him. He's the kind of corner that Dan Quinn loves. So, like, when you watch film, you see a long, lengthy corner, and people are like, oh, that's Emmanuel Forbes. Not even close. Forbes was like 170 flat coming out of college. So you're talking about a 25, almost 30-pound difference. Harrison is a much better corner. Between him and Trey Amos, damn, that's tough. I love Trey Amos. Trey Amos is my guy, man. Talking to him a bunch at the Senior Bowl too. I was like, Trey, you are a DQ corner if I've ever seen one. And he was like, I agree, man. I would love to be on that defense. So between Harrison and Trey Amos, man, I'm struggling with that one. But I want people to just stop acting like Maxwell Harrison is not good. He's good. Is he 29 good? In this draft, probably, yeah. Would it blow my socks off? No, because I want an edge, personally. That's the selfishness in me. But when I'm watching him, if you have him, Lattimore, and then Mikey goes into the slot, I'd put Mikey in the slot before I put Maxwell Harrison in the slot, just because I know Mikey can do it. And like I said, Maxwell is the bigger corner. Let him be outside. Let him show off those instincts. He was a little banged up last year too. Speaking of Kentucky players banged up, Maxwell Harrison was banged up last year playing through an injury. So I like him a lot. Is he my top pick at 29? No, but he's up there. He's definitely up there. Jackson said, yes, loved the Commander's log that highlighted those guys. I really love seeing the Commander's log. Like you said, talk about the scouts and stuff like that. I was really hoping the day they were recording that, I was off to the side. I was like, man, if they would have zoomed out a little bit, you'd have seen your boy there. But that Commander's log was nice. Even though it's kind of short, I loved it. That's my kind of Commander's log. AP is low-key funny. Had a good time watching that. Yeah, he's a good dude. 40th draft for that dude. That proves you know what he's doing. Legendary. I'm just saying, any job for 40 years is crazy. But scouting in the NFL, where there's so much turnover, oh, we hired him. Like, get rid of that guy. Like, 40 years is nuts. 40 years is nuts. Easy E. Donovan. Yeah, I like Donovan a lot. Imagine the Commanders had pick 2 this year, Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter. Travis Hunter, because you would play him so much different ways. Big E said, by the way, my boy Tyree isn't bulking up, looking at like a solid lean-ass 205 with a 4.36 40 time. How can you pass on that? He'll be our offensive Tyler Owens. You heard it here first. Josh to the bank. I think he played a lot of slot too, which, you know, we could use. This draft has depth for a few spots this year. So unique. It is very unique. So something you have to do, you have to adjust to these drafts. Edge way too deep for 29, but I won't complain. Yeah, it is deep, but I will say after a certain point, the drop-off is heavy. Like, it's a bad drop-off. Just looking at it again today, I was like, man, D'Angelo Dean, we need to trade down. I'm with you. I'm with you. I think what you're getting there at 33, 34, even 40, and picking up a valuable pick, it's going to be worth it. Is Harmon better than John Allen or Payne coming out? Man. John Allen was high, and so was Deron Payne. John Allen was definitely the better prospect. I think Harmon, dang, that's tough. I'd say John Allen, Harmon, and Payne. It's so close though, but I personally love Harmon. like I said, I think he's better than Mason Graham. I think he's up there with Walter Nolan. Mad Maxwell Hairston is the pick. Love it, love it. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Also, tons of players have been drafted to a team not on their board. Busted first round and went crazy good on another team. Sam Darnold. The Jets try to force Sam Darnold to fit their team. Didn't happen. Now look at him. Got paid a shit ton of money. Took that Vikings team really far, even though ultimately couldn't get it done. He looked bad in that game. He got paid a shit ton of money. Any chance we use a draft pick to trade for a player, Hendrickson or Jair? I don't see it. Honestly. Bradley said, yo, Josh, you think AP has a major move up his sleeve this year? Will shake the entire NFL, kind of like how he did with AJ Brown trade. I don't think so. Hendrickson is the only one that really comes to mind, but I would be shocked, to be honest with you. Only thing I can think of is if the Giants were to trade and they were trying to trade a player, like they're trying to do like a Kayvon Thibodeau and like a pick for 29, and like say we go back to 34. I just don't think they would do that. I would rather not, take on Kayvon Thibodeau. Like just draft somebody, draft your guy. Once again, Kayvon would have to fit. There's also something else I saw today that PFF did that I really want to share with y'all. I need to find it and bring it up because I just remembered it. Thank God. Not Call of Duty loadouts. Here we go. So PFF did, I think, for every single team, but Washington Commanders 2025 NFL draft big board top 100 prospects based off of scheme, based off of needs. They took into account everything. So I'll pull that up here in a second. Let me get through a couple more of these. Jalen Walker, Mikael Williams, Mike Green, Shamar Stewart, James Pierce Jr., Donovan Ezraku, Nick Scord, Lena Jackson, JC Mayola, Prisley Monomi Allen, Jack Sawyer, Braden Swinson, Femi Oladejo, Jordan Birch, Josiah Stewart, Kyle Kennard, Ashton Gelati, Jared Ivey, David Walker, love David, Savion Jones, Baron Zoro, Antoine Powell, Rylan is the edge class. It is deep. I like it. Just joined, but watch out for Starks at 29 if you can't trade out. I'm not ruling it out either. I think the Ravens would love him. But if not, I think he's definitely in play. Tyler Booker at 29 would be nuts. That's a good value too. Jay Daniels to Ty Felton the whole season. I like Ty, and I think Ty could play in the slot too because he is kind of smaller. He runs really good routes, so I think you could do both. How you feel about Torrey Horton and Kevin Winston Jr.? I'm a Kevin Winston Jr. fanatic. I love Kevin Winston Jr. Covering Penn State for a while. That was my guy, man. Maryland kid, absolutely love Kevin Winston Jr. I think Torrey Horton is one of the more underrated players in the draft. I feel like he was underrated last year too, when everybody was like talking about him a little bit. Everyone's like, talk about Torrey Horton more. But I think he's extremely underrated. I like him a lot. I think both those guys would fit perfectly too. I do like Jack Sawyer. I think he's got a really high floor. I just don't know what else is there as a pass rusher. I don't know how much more you can get up out of him. Biggie said, realistically, how the heck do we decide between a few positions? We need a corner more than wide receiver, but dang, if two studs are available, how do we choose between them? Same with O-line and edge. I think the thing is, I said this a couple times with the free agent signings, you at least signed a corner. You brought back Noah Igbenogany. You already traded for Debo, so you used, draft, capital on a wide receiver already. You traded for Laremy Tunsil, so you already got an offensive tackle. You signed Will Harris. They feel really good about him. Same with Javon Kinlaw, a couple more guys on the line. The free agency signings at least helped fill those roster spots that, you needed people. You needed them. But also it's like, okay, this is something AP said a lot. Like I said, you're not forcing yourself like, oh man, we really need an edge here. We got to get an edge at 29. We have to do it. You're not talking yourself into somebody, same with like wide receiver. If a wide receiver's on the board, that's the highest ranked player on Washington's board, and it's not even close, that's who they're going to take. If it's a running back, that's who they're going to take. If it's an edge, corner, whatever. But they're not going into this draft. You know how we do our mock drafts. We're like, okay, I've already done an edge. I would like to get a corner around here. Let's get a corner. Okay. That's not what they're going to do. Like I said, they're going to let they're going to let the draft fall to them. They're going to make the moves they feel like they should, get that value. But the free agent signings really helped fill in those needs to where you're not forcing yourself to take a corner. Like if they didn't take a corner in the entire draft, I'm like, okay, they'll probably get an undrafted free agent or something. But think about it. Like you have Samer still, you got Lattimore, should be healthy next season. You brought back Noah Igbenogany. They feel good about him. He can play on the inside or outside. I like him on the inside more. Then you got Jonathan Jones. Like you at least got some depth too. Jonathan Jones could start on the outside if someone got hurt, or if you want Mikey Samerson to go inside or put Jonathan Jones on the inside, whatever. They're not forcing themselves to say this is our checklist. We got to make sure we leave the draft with these positions. Not at all. So that's good. Like I prefer that. That's why I liked their free agent signings. They're not forcing themselves to do anything crazy. So stay hydrated. I don't know why my table's shaking so much. I need to tighten it up. But I'm about to move anyways. I would rather bet on motivating James Pierce than taking a project like Shamar Stewart. I think Shamar Stewart's so much better than people realize. I don't even think he's much of a project. I hate Texas A&M's defense so much. I watched so many games for him and Nick Gordon. I was just like, God, free these two men, please. I think Shamar Stewart is so much better than people realize. But with that being said, I think James Pierce Jr. is a lot better than people realize too. I get this whole motivating thing, but Jay brought up a good point. Kime said he name dropped Mike Green. So it sounds like that whole off the field stuff might not be there. I'm not saying not true, but I'm just saying you might be cleared of it. We don't know. The James Pierce thing, once again, scouts are going to these schools. Scouts are talking to coaches. They're talking to, people in the university. That's something scouts do a lot of. They go to these schools. They're like, hey, tell me about this guy. Tell me about that guy. If you ever watched Last Chance U, you remember, a lot of these colleges would go to practice. Like, hey, coach, tell me about 14, like wide receiver. Who is he? And the coach is like, oh, fuck that guy, man. He don't practice. He don't care about the team. He's got a lot of talent, but, he's stupid. Like, he just makes terrible decisions. Like, that's how it is. Like, that's not just a JUCO thing. That's how it is. You go to these colleges as a scout. You're like, hey, tell me about James Pierce Jr. And a lot of the things I heard about James Pierce Jr. is that he's not coachable. He's not motivated to like the effort isn't there. Coaches just, they're just half-assed and stuff, like just frustrating coaches. So that's concerning to me. So if a scout of ours went to Tennessee, went to the pro day or whatever, I'm like, hey man, James Pierce Jr. is on the clock at 29. Should we take him? And the coach is like, really good talent, has all the talent in the world, but he just doesn't care, doesn't listen to us, sits out reps, whatever. Scout's going to tell AP that. Scout's going to tell Dan Quinn, hey, this guy's really freaking good, but he's kind of a pain in the ass. Coaches aren't too high on him. That doesn't bode well with AP and with Dan Quinn. But that's how this works, though. That is a scout's job, not just sitting in an office watching film all the time. They're traveling to games. They're traveling to the campuses. They're going to the pro days. They're trying to find out the most about these players. And coaches will be dead honest with you. The last thing a coach wants to do is say, oh, yeah, that player's great. You'll never have trouble with him. And then he just turns out to be a complete asshole once you draft him. And the scout's like, what the hell, dude? That was not at all what you told me. Your players, I don't know what y'all are doing here. It just makes them look terrible. So coaches will be straight up and honest with you. I love that, though. Marcus said, I truly wonder how access to the collective and NIL are a distraction for some of these kids. I think the biggest impact that the NIL has on the draft is that you see a lot more players going back to college because of the money. I mean, you got players making 3-4 times. There's players in college right now that are making $10 million more than what Brock Purdy made last year, or will be making unless he gets his extension. But the amount of money you're making in college right now is crazy. So a lot of players are going back to school. Saw it with some Penn State players this year. They said, hey, we're staying back at school. There's a lot of players that didn't come out this year because they're going to make more money in college. Why not? If you're telling me I'm going to make $3-4 million in college next year, over 800,000 in the NFL next year, or even some less than that, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and stay in college and make that money while I'm here. So I think that's the biggest thing that's changing the NFL draft. And it's not even just at this year. It's kind of started the last 2 years. This is a really impactful one with it. And you'll see it next year. You'll see it every single year coming up because now the money's going up. Players are staying more. So you'll have, it's good and it's bad. It's bad because you really want these young, Dylan Sampson. He's like 20 years old. You want these young prospects. Jamar Chase, he was 19 when he came into the draft. Those are the guys you really want. Those are the ones you're like, hell yeah, give me that 19, 20-year-old wide receiver, 19, 20-year-old running back, whatever. Quarterback, you might want him to have a little bit more experience. I do. It's position, difference for me. But still, you're going to have a lot of players coming out at 25, 26. Like there's some this year, like Tyler Shuck or like the tight end from like Miami. He's like a 9th-year senior. Like you're getting older prospects. So, yeah, you'll see some 23, 24. You'll see some 25-year-old prospects like Darius Alexander was like almost 25, the D tackle from Toledo. So you will see that. Yeah, it is changing the draft, though. The NIL, I'm glad you brought that up because NIL, it does have an impact on the draft heavily. I think this year is probably one of the bigger ones where like people decided to stay in college and get that money and not come out as an early prospect. Like I said, Nick Singleton, denying Dennis Sutton from Penn State. There's a ton. I mean, Carson Beck. Not saying that he's good. I don't like Carson Beck, but I'm just saying he made a shit ton of money going to Miami instead of going to the draft. And everyone's like, whoa, we thought you were coming out. He's like, hell no. Carson Vincent, I like him. Alabama A&M, HBCU tackle, big time dude. Need him. 6, nice development swing tackle. Has all the size. Biggest I honestly think is trade back in the go with Revel, Dan Quinn. Man, that's a game changer. The health report is good. We need that more than a shiny toy. From what I heard, the medical seems fine. I haven't heard anything negative about Siobhan Revel. I think he's a guy that goes in the high to mid 40s. I don't think he makes it to like the late second. I think that's an early second guy. Amos brings an ideal blend of size, movement skills, and coverage scheme versatility to the cornerback position, while his explosiveness and speed aren't anything special. His 2024 film shows he has a cornerback 2 floor in the NFL with potential to be a cornerback 1. Yeah, I think he's really good. I won't get to watch the draft, but nothing will shock me at all. Man, you gotta watch it. You gotta watch it. At least pop into the live stream here. Maxwell Hairston has played at less than 185, but Maxwell has more dog in him and is a punt return. I'll put him on kick return. That's fine. Like I said, right now he's at like 195. So he's already way bigger than Forbes ever did. And Forbes, I saw this briefly. Forbes posted something weird. Had some Rams fans were like calling him out. He posted something about like the Eagles. I don't know. Really weird. He did like a green heart and like an eagle, and Rams fans like, what the fuck's wrong with this guy? And of course the Caps are playing too. So I appreciate y'all coming over here instead of watching the Caps game. We're going to be live for a little bit though. Let me see. Let me catch up some more chats. Harrison is a feisty competitor who likes to get his hands on receivers and bump and run coverage from off coverage techniques. As a zone heavy cornerback, he has a chance to develop into a cornerback type player in the NFL. Sounds about right. That's something I saw too. Hearing Maxwell Harrison, Denzel Ward comp. That's the one that I've heard recently too. But sign me up. Sign me up for Denzel Ward. Shows that I love Amos. I do too. I think he's a dog. If you don't trade back, I really think Carson Wentz is going to play at 29. I'll flip my table. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to drop my picks. I have a tweet that I was like writing up a little bit. There's about 3 players at 29 I'd be furious with. Carson Schwarzenegger is one of them. Nick Imanwari is another one. I said I trust AP, but damn if that's the picks. I would be like, man. I personally would hate it. I still trust them, but I would hate it. I'm so hyped just to see the new draft room. Is that crazy? Also, how you been feeling lately? I'm good, Doug. I'm hyped about to see that new room too. I don't know if it's done. And like they're actually going to be there tomorrow. It kind of sounds like it though. AP said they have a new room, and so it sounds like it. But I'm excited, man. Gabe Taylor is nice. I think so too. You're going to be streaming the draft and going all over all the picks. So I won't be allowed to like stream the draft on my screen, like the ESPN one. My channel will get deleted. But I will be live for every single pick. So I'll have the ESPN website up, like showing the picks, but I'm not gonna like have the actual draft stream on the stream, or I would get deleted. I already had Miami or Virginia Tech pissed off at me about putting Tuttons all 22 on the channel, but that's okay. I don't care. But I will be going over every single pick, so I'll have it up on my screen. So like when the pick happens, like you'll see it pop up on ESPN, and I'll talk about it like as it happens. Analysis of every pick, instant reactions, breakdown, the chaos. I'm here for it. Do you buy the rumors that UCLA linebacker Carson fell at 29? Yes and no. So Ken Norton Jr., our linebacker coach, is his old linebacker coach at UCLA. Same with Femi Oladejo. Not last year, but the year before that. Femi played linebacker with Carson Schlesinger, and they both were coached by Ken Norton Jr., who, like I said, is our linebacker coach. So, I just find that really hard to believe, though. I like Schlesinger. I do not have a late first round grade on him. I have like a late second round grade on him. Yeah, I would be shocked. I would be shocked. GST Wakes 432. What up, Jay? I think we're gonna be shocked with the first pick in our draft, just like how we were kind of shocked with the Johnny Newton pick. You know, I could see it. I don't know. For me, I don't know if I would be shocked just because I've gone over so many different scenarios and situations. I've pretty much talked myself into like 20 different options at 29. Like I said, I'll tweet out my list tomorrow. Picks I really, really like at 29. Picks I'm cool with. Like I'm like, all right, sweet, let's roll at 29. And then some I'm like, oh hell no. So I'll share that tomorrow. But I mean, hell, we could get surprised, and it's gonna be someone I haven't even thought about yet. But I'm telling y'all, I have exhausted all options at this point. My brain is fried. Stephanology said, I'm sad that Logan, I guess you're about Logan Paulson, has such a negative view on James Pierce Jr. I believe Dan and Joe can coach that out of anyone. I mean, yeah, but at the same time, like, if you're not a competitor, you either got it or you don't. That's my opinion. Like, people would kill to be in your position. If you're just kind of half-assing it, like, I'll give effort on this player. Like, I'm not going to listen to this coach. Like, what? I don't care. Like, I know what I'm doing. I'm good. Then nah, I don't want that. I don't want that. I will bring up something here in a second. I'm gonna pull up this website. I promised y'all I would. That's my problem with OSU guys. I think what you see is what you get. I'm really high on Femi Oladejo. Just seems like a commander, as AP loves to say lately. I like Femi Oladejo. Do I like him at 29? No. But if you can trade back to 34, 35 and get him plus picks, not just saying that, oh, that 4 or 5 spots makes a difference in his value. The value of getting more picks plus him, I'm for it. But if you're staying at 29 and you're not trading back and you're taking Femi Oladejo, I'd be like, oh, shit. I love Femi. I've been talking so high about Femi since the Senior Bowl. I told you, I was like, if y'all remember, go watch it. The video I did when I was at the Senior Bowl, when I was in the little ballroom, whatever it's called, I snuck off, stole the Wi-Fi password. I said, Femi Oladejo is a monster. I never thought he'd be there at 29. Like, I think he'd be there, but I didn't think he'd be an option at 29. At the time, before he got hyped up, I was talking about like 128, like back in that range. Now people are talking about him going early second. I know the 49ers love Femi Oladejo. He's probably their second round pick if they don't take an edge in the first round. They love him. Spent a ton of time with him at the Senior Bowl. Spent a ton of time with him this offseason. If we miss out on Femi Oladejo, I'm not going to cry. I really like him. I love his character. I love his style of play. Love his motor. He's my kind of player. But him at 29, I'd be like, boy. Because I think he does have a ways to go of, his pass rushing moves. He can get stuck on blocks a little too much. Sometimes he has some developing, which is duh. He's only played edge for 1 season. He was a linebacker. So I get that. But man, 29 and not trading back and then taking him and having some more picks. I wouldn't like it. BH, a lot of pundits are out on Pierce Jr. It's like they know something that hasn't come out yet more than just a bad attitude. I mean, to be honest with you, though, if you're good and you're just a pain in the ass and coaches don't like you, if your college coaches don't like you, NFL coaches aren't going to like you. They're going to hate you. So I've seen him going middle second lately. Like, I have to double check like all the ones that came out today, but a majority of the ones I saw, he's like middle second or maybe sometimes early second. But not a lot of people that I respect have him going to Washington at 29. So if we get Tootin, I'd be so scared. I mean, I guess because of the fumbles. I like him though. I've seen a lot of running backs that had fumble problems in college. Fix it in the NFL. So I'm not rolling him out. The home run ability is there. I say this, and it's not a knock on him. He's like an off-brand Travion Henderson, in my opinion. Short, stocky, compact, fast, good receiver, can run people over. He needs to get a little bit better at pass blocking, and Travion Henderson's like elite ball security. Tootin isn't. So, Bashaw Tootin, Travion Henderson, really close, but there's two things that are complete opposites on, and that's the fumbles and pass blocking as well. Also, is a crazy thing about a tight end in this class. I'll wait till next year. They're not going to see any playing time. Doesn't make sense to me. And I don't really like this tight end class. I like the ones high, but anyone after the first, Mason Taylor I like, but he should be gone by 61. But I'm not taking anyone else to 61. Like Harold Fannin, no. Elijah Arroyo I like, but no. We just re-signed Zach Ertz. We paid Bates a shit ton of money for what he does, and then they feel really good about Ben, as they should. Yes, A&M guys' numbers are hindered by that scheme. Freakish athletes. Yeah, the scheme's awful. Nick Gordon, they pretty much made him put on like 20 pounds just to be an edge-setting defensive end. And then right after the season, he's already dropped 20 pounds. He's at like 260 something. He was 280 at Texas A&M. Now he's already back down to 260. He looks phenomenal. I'm telling you, people are sleeping on Nick Gordon so much. Nick Gordon is a beast. If he's a pick at 29, I'm hype. I love Nick Gordon. Once again, before last year, he was a top 10 pick. And then he goes to A&M, which fucking shot himself in the foot with that one. And like, hey, gain 20 pounds and just stop the run for us. And now he's like a early second round guy. Crazy. If or when we take a wide receiver in the draft, do you think Luke McCaffrey will not get used at all? No, I think he's got a big role coming up. Not like starting outside receiver or something or starting slot. But I can't wait to see him take that next step. He was another guy that he only played wide receiver for 2 years, had to develop a little bit more. They kind of knew that, but he's just a really good athlete. I want to see him more on the kicking game. I want to see him get better at that. He had some returns I really liked. Not drafting anyone who took the jab. Doug said, I'm so glad we have a competent GM who I can trust to have a solid plan for each player, not like the other guy who pulled a draft day and says Forbes no matter what hours before. Yeah, crazy. I can go through a final mock. I just want to show y'all something really quick though, because PFF did this and I thought this is fantastic. Really good find today. Here we go. So Washington Commanders 2025 NFL draft board top 100 prospects. Like I said, what they did is really take into account everything. So offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury showed, what we did heavy last year. Shotgun almost 80% of the time. Love that. Pistol 12.6% of the time. Heavy play action, yes. 252 first in the NFL. Love to see that. So a ton of play action. Passing personnel, 11 and 12. So one tight end, sometimes two tight ends all the time. Run concepts. This is what I really wanted to see. So we started early in the season running a ton of zone, and then we started going to more of a gap or a man run concept later on in the season. It's so split. So that's the one thing I was so stuck on for so long is like, what kind of run, like blocking concepts are we looking at? Honestly, both. Because there's some guys like Caleb Johnson is really good in one, And Marlon Hampton's really good in one. Like, he's more of a zone guy. Caleb's more of a gap guy. Like, some of these running backs are really zone, like, are scheme specific. And that's one thing I really wanted to see. But it's like 38%, almost 38%. So it's crazy. Running game plan, single back, and then defense is going to surprise a lot of people, but it's something I knew. Dan Quinn, we did safety alignment, 56.6% of the time was single. Kevin Winston Jr., yes, please. Single, high safety. Yes. Kevin Winston Jr., that's your guy. Two high safety, 43.4%. And this is the one that surprised a lot of people. We played a ton of zone last year. Everyone kept telling me, Josh, no, we are a man coverage team. We might play more man next year. But I kept telling people, we played so much zone. We played so much cover 3. It was ridiculous. We played a lot of cover 3 last year. Cornerback alignment, press, and off. So, I mean, pretty much the two you can do. Press them at the line, off coverage, bail, whatever. And coverage formation, we played a ton of nickel. Good. Defensive front, 4-3. And what they did is took, like, this is team needs. Primary needs is a 4-3 edge. You know, a guy who can be in that even front, put his hands down, 3-point stance, set the edge. Cool. Wide zone corner or a wide man corner, just because, like I said, press, we did off, we did everything. Even though we didn't run a lot of zone, primary needs, we still just need an outside corner. We don't care what he does because we mixed it up last year. And then an X wide receiver, that next guy. And then a zone offensive tackle, but then also a man gap offensive tackle, which I guess they're saying, hey, they can move somebody into guard, probably like Coleman or Wiley, whatever. If you can get a really good tackle, get one, which we've met with a lot of tackles, so it makes sense. They said secondary at 3-4 edge, some more of that stayed-up type of guy that we've been looking at a lot. Donovan Ezraku, Ashton Gelati, Famila Dejo. Those are all 3-4 edge guys. A Z wide receiver, so another wide receiver out there. Slot wide receiver, running back. Doesn't really say what kind of running back, because I think, once again, we did a lot of zone blocking. We did a lot of man blocking as well. So zone OG and a man or / gap OG. So same thing. We run both. Some teams run a lot of one. Like, some teams run like 60% zone or 60% man. And we just played both last year, which kind of frustrating for me, because I wish we did more of just one so I could really nail down what kind of running back we're going to draft. A 3-tech defensive tackle, Derek Harmon, the best, my guy. He's outstanding 3-tech D tackle. Box safety, Kevin Winston Jr. He can do that. He's an elite box safety, but he's also an elite coverage safety. So please. And then Mike linebacker, Will linebacker, Sim linebacker. Then they said this is like bottom tier needs, like don't really need one, but if there's a really, really good one, some kind of tight end, zone center, gap man center, nose tackle, 3-4 DN, coverage, safety, nickel defender. So for me, I'm looking at that left side, obviously primary, and then these secondary guys. And what they did is they listed out players, on PFF's big boards, and are guys that fit what Washington really needs. And obviously Abdul Carter, these guys. But it's interesting to really go down and look, like Jahdae Barron, wide zone corner. He's a primary need. He would start next year. And just really look through this. Same thing, like Mikael Williams. I love Mikael Williams. I would cry if he was there at 29. Primary need, and he would start next year. Walter Nolan, they're just saying he would rotate in, which I would agree. 3-tech defensive tackle. It's a secondary need. He would rotate in. This is really interesting to see. Donovan Ezraku, 3-4 edge, secondary type of need. Obviously, best case scenario would be more of that 4-3 edge, like a Mikael Williams. Not saying Donovan Ezraku would be a bad pick, but same thing, rotational, which I'd agree with. You're not going to play him like, the entire drive where he's just your starting outside guy. He would rotate in, but he would play a lot, obviously. So it's just really interesting to see this and really break this down. I love seeing this. I might tweet it out just so y'all can see it. But look at that, Derek Harmon, secondary depth. How rude. Josh Connolly Jr. I don't know how you rotated an offensive tackle, but I think he would start at right tackle. So this is really cool to see. Nick Gordon, boom, primary starter, perfect fit. Jihad Campbell, James Pierce Jr., secondary rotational. Higgins, Trey Amos, primary starter. Marion Hampton, he would start next year. Maxwell Harrison, primary starter. Like those are the guys you really need to focus on. Secondary, rotational. Yeah, I love this. They say this isn't a giant need, but I'm telling you, that safety is a big need for us. Big need. I do not really feel that good about our safety class. But nonetheless, like I just said, I just really wanted to show you all this. I thought this was really interesting. I just loved seeing this and really breaking down how much we played certain things last year, like the shotgun. Seeing this was the biggest thing for me. The run concepts between man or gap and zone. It's so split. It's crazy. That bugs the shit out of me. It bugs me so much. I mean, I don't care personally, but just when it comes to looking at draft prospects, I'm like, damn, I want to focus on the zone or I want to focus on a man, whether it's a running back or an offensive lineman, and I can't. I have to look at both because of how much we really just split it. And then same with, I mean, you can go zone or you can go man with the corners too, because zone was 55.97%. Man's obviously the rest of it. So we mixed it up a good bit, but everyone thought we were just a primary crazy man coverage defense last year. We weren't. We played a ton of zone. So let me get to this real quick. I did see this. Jaden's at the Caps game with San Harmon. There's a bunch of players there. I was trying to look at it just now on Twitter. Oh yeah, I see him. I love those jerseys, by the way. They look so freaking good. Make sure I didn't miss nothing. Yeah, it's gonna be craziness. 24 hours out. 24 hours out, guys. Holy smokes. I'm sweating. I am sweating. Let's see. Make sure I didn't miss anything else. And I'm going to get back to some more chats. We'll go through a mock draft real quick. I'll make sure we do a mock draft before we end it. Don't worry. But yeah, I mean, I love this just seeing it on PFF. You know, they do an awesome job. I don't know who watched that 6-hour, 7-hour live stream they did of, you know, mock draft, the entire draft. That was awesome. I watched that on Saturday while I was writing up my last mock draft and loved it. Loved it. Let me go up a little bit here. I love DJ Giddens. Absolutely love DJ Giddens. That's my guy. Let me go to the super chat real quick. Manners Nation, appreciate it. I need Revel and Burgundy and Gold so bad, dog. I would love it, man. I think he can play both. I think he's ready to go. I think he's ready to play, to be honest with you. He's been rehabbing a ton. He had the best corner tape before he got hurt. Even with Will Johnson, even with Benjamin Morrison before he got hurt, all of them, man. Siobhan Revel had elite corner tape. So good. Really good ball skills. Really feisty, really physical, but disciplined and just freaking stud. Let me go real quick. George, what's going on, man? Josh, you've done a hell of a job this draft season. Thank you. Like and subscribe. Man, appreciate it. It's been so much fun. I hate to see it end, but I'm excited for the draft to finally be here. It's been a long grind. Like I said, I've been scouting before the season even started, end of May. And then as soon as the college season started, I worked like a 25-hour shift, like straight. Scouting that first Saturday of college football was nuts. I will never forget that. Insane. With the draft needs we have, if you had to pick a former Skins player, who would you draft at 29? Sean Taylor. Give me Sean. Sean or Santana Moss. Like a alpha wide receiver, alpha safety. Or Champ Bailey. God. Ryan Kerrigan. Clinton Portis. That's tough. Damn. Um, it would be really hard not to take Ryan Kerrigan, just because we do need an edge like him. I might have to go Kerrigan, honestly. Yeah, I love DJ Giddens. Jahad Campbell's my dream pick at 29. I hope they let him fall with his injury. I hope. I'm thinking Princely at round 2 could work. He ain't bad. Now he's good. He's good. He's not consistent, but he's got some goods. His pass rush move, his spin move is one of the best in the draft. It is really good. Jahad Campbell or Jalen Walker. Oh, shoot, that's tough. I'm biased because I'm an Alabama fan. I think whoever drafts Jahad Campbell, I really hope they let him play edge and linebacker. I really hope they just, utilize all of his goods. Jalen Walker, I think he's going to be more of a, blitzer, kind of like an Edgerrin Cooper, but a little bit more of an edge guy. I'm trying to think who I would even compare him to, but I think he's going to be more of an edge guy. Dalton Blue from Texas, so I'd studied him a ton. I like him a lot. Doesn't have a lot of reps. He just doesn't have a lot of experience. But before this year, didn't play a lot. He was in a running back committee, and then they had a ton of injuries at Texas at running back, so he played a bunch. He did fumble a lot. His fumble rate's really high, but he's got crazy hands. He made a crazy catch. Who was it on? Clemson? Maybe it was Clemson or was it Georgia? I can't remember. He made a crazy catch in the end zone. I was like, holy shit. It's one of the best running back catches I've ever seen. It was nuts. But he's really fast. Really fast. So if you can clean up those fumbles, then yeah, he's got some goods. He's got everything that we like in a running back. The receiving ability, the speed, the home run threat. He can run some guys over too, but the fumbles were bad. He will make the best play you've ever seen and then fumble at the end. You're like, oh my God. Doesn't even count. So, but he's really good. He's so much fun to watch, but he's also frustrating. Dylan Sampson, what do you think? Super young, still super raw, has a lot left in the tank to learn from, and he was still so productive at Tennessee. Who do you think are the running backs with and wide receiver that interest them? Let me pull up big board real quick. I'll show you. So let's do wide receivers. Let's do running backs. So I'll talk realistic ones. I think Luther Burden. I hated that practice tape we saw of him. I thought it was ugly. I think Emeka Egbuka, they would love. Hampton, love. Jaden Higgins, love. Jack Beck, he can marry my daughter if I had one. Perfect fit. Catches everything. Absolute monster. Scatterboo, skill set wise, maybe not, but person wise, yeah, he would die for the team. Dylan Sampson, I think he fits. Caleb Johnson, I think they like. Trevon Henderson, yes, give him a star perfectly. Jalen Royals, I could see. Kyle Williams, yes, definitely. Quinshon Judkins, I think they would. I just didn't hear much about him. Trey Harris, they brought in. I think his upside's crazy. I love Trey Harris. RJ Harvey, yes, he's a big time playmaker. Xavier Restrepo, they worked him out privately. I think he's there. I think Jalen Knowles, one guy I just could not stop mocking to Washington. At 61, he's so good, and he would be a starting slot guy. I think he is a perfect pick for us. Damian Martinez, I like him, but I didn't hear anything much out of him. DJ Giddens is one of my draft crushes. I would love it. I think he fits the team too. Really gritty, fast. He's got everything. Honestly, I love him. Sabian, Devin Neal, Isaac Tesla, super underrated. Super underrated. So is his teammate Armstrong. Torrey Horton, yes. Jarquez Hunter, yes. Jaden Blue, yes. Tez, character-wise, sure, but physical-wise, I think they would hate it. Rashard Smith, I could see. Ty Felton, that's it's not a secret. They absolutely love Ty Felton. Pat Bryant, yes. Kanata Mumfield, I like him a lot. Jalen Lane, they do like him too. Really explosive slot guy. He intrigues me a bunch. I know Dante Thornton was at the local pro day. I don't know how they feel about him. Armstrong's one of the more underrated players in the draft. I tweeted about him the other day. Tootin, they like him a lot. They took him out to dinner, met with him privately. They do like Jordan James. I feel like Chimere DK is their type of wide receiver too. Really fast, 6'1", 195. I think, big time vertical threat guy. That's about it I can really think of. Rock Taylor, they do like Rock Taylor a lot too. Taj Brooks seems like their type of running back too. They like Corey Kenner as well. They like Jaquavius Marks, big time receiving guy. I like Ricky White. I don't know how they feel about him. Ollie Gordon, that's another one of these guys. I'm like, he cannot be as bad as he was last year. Like, talking to him at the Senior Bowl, it sounded like he just hated their scheme. Like, there were so many changes on the offense he was not a fan of. Jacory Krosky married, I feel like they would like. And yeah, like I said, they like Rock Taylor. Felton, I don't think they would like him, honestly. But yeah, I think there's a bunch of them. I think they would like Mike Green too. I think they would. My only problem with Luke is that we could have gotten Bucky. I think they really did want Bucky. I just didn't think they thought he would go that early. That looks so good. I pulled up the article. Oh, I see what you're talking about. Yep. True coverage. Oh, we've rotated tackles. We did until Coleman said, he earned that spot, but it was working for a little bit. But eventually, like, all right, we can't keep doing that. True coverage safety has been in need for years. It really has. I don't think we had people for true man coverage. I could see it. Didn't really have much. Less than 24 hours. Thank God. Mason Taylor, I like him a lot. Daniel Jeremiah said he's a Zach Ertz comp. I could see that. Kind of like Mason after the catch a little bit more, to be honest with you. Yeah, big ups to you, Josh. You've made me watch more players in depth instead of just watching highlights. Knowledge builds knowledge. Appreciate it. Definitely. I tell people all the time, don't just look up highlights. You're not getting the full story at all. I feel like Rio gets carried away during his mocks. You base your decisions on logistics. I'll have to watch his latest mock, but we'll knock out a mock. Here we go. We'll do one. So I already started this one. We'll knock this one out real quick. Let me see real quick. Some more chats. Do I blame scheme on Shamar's lack of production? Yes. They didn't really let him rush. They just wanted him and Nick Scott. They really wanted them to just stop the run and contain the edge. But there's even plays where he was almost sacks, but you saw so many times Shamar Stewart would just dominate offensive linemen. Marry my daughter, stupid Josh. Jack Beck is an amazing dude. Absolutely love him. I like Savion Jones too. I didn't get to watch him as much as I wanted to, but I know a lot of people that are really high on him. That Chandler Martin pick on the mock was an elite pool. He's a dog. Thank you. I love Chandler Martin, and the team met with him a couple times. The dude is insane. I love watching him play. I did one Memphis game early in the season. I can't remember who it was. Maybe it was like South Florida or somebody, but he just kept popping off. I was like, who is this guy? But if you haven't watched Chandler Martin yet, watch him. He's undersized, but he can tackle, great in coverage, really good blitzer. Like, he does everything. You get him in the 7th, holy smokes. I know Jordan Reed was high on him too. I think Jordan Reed had him in like the early 200s. But yeah, absolute stud. So we'll do a mock. We'll do a trade back mock real quick. Let's start the draft and see what happens, and then we'll enjoy our night. We'll try to get some sleep tonight. Probably won't, and then we'll go live for the entire draft tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday. So let's see. At 29, Walter Nolan. There's no way. James Pierce Jr., Gray Zabel, Trey Amos, Nick Scorton. As much as I want to sit and pick, I know they have what's his name down here? Trayvon Henderson down here. I just, for the sake of the latest rumors and smoke, I want to trade back. So like I was saying, with the Browns, you would probably do 29 for 33 and 104. That's trade value wise, very realistic. Giants, 34, you could probably steal 99. That's realistic. Saints, I would go, let's get 93 back. And Let me see the value. What's the value difference of 40 and 29? So 29 is worth 640 points. Pick 40 is worth 500. So that's a 140 point difference. 140. Remember that. 93 is worth 128. So you can get 93 and what fifth do they have? They don't even have a fifth. Probably not getting you're not getting 112 back. Probably 131, you're not getting that back either. It'd probably be 93 and 84. Or we could just do 93 and a fifth next year. That's what I would do. 93 and a fifth next year if you trade back to 40 with the Saints. For this mock draft, let's just do the Giants one. Let's do 34 and 99. Let me see. Somebody's mentioned me on Twitter. I'd make sure I didn't miss nothing. Let's do that trade. We'll do this one. So 34, Nick Scorton, James Pierce Jr., Trey Amos, Josh Connolly Jr., or the popular pick, TreVeyon Henderson. So let's say we don't go TreVeyon Henderson. It just sounds like James Pierce is not on the board for them. It sounds like they're not interested. I think Nick Scorton would be the pick. And at 34, I think that's a home run, guys. I would love Nick Scorton at 29, to be honest with you. I'm a big Nick Scorton fan. But I know fans would hate it if I did that one. So we'll just go TreVeyon Henderson. Let's say TreVeyon Henderson's there at 34. We're not going to take Carson Schwarzenegger because I will crash out. Let's just say TreVeyon Henderson is the pick at 34 if we trade back. I think that's awesome. I'm all on board with that. And then at 61, let's see what we got here. Oof. Omar Norman Lott, Jalen Rose, Jared Ivey, Kyle Williams. This is probably where you'd have to take Kyle Williams. Let's see what edges are here. Ivy, I don't really like him as a true edge guy. Josiah Stewart, undersized, but he's a dog. Kennard, Roberts, Jack Sawyer might be there at 99. Ashton Gelati might be there at 99. David Walker. I like the value a little bit more. So I would probably go, if I didn't go TreVeyon Henderson, I would take Caleb Johnson here. I'm stuck between Kyle, Makuba, Porter, even Ursery. Andrew Makuba, Kyle Williams, Darian Porter. Darian Porter's a little raw. He's an elite athlete, but I would probably go Kyle Williams. Him at 61. That's tough. I don't know. I really like Andrew Makuba too. Fuck it. I'm gonna go Makuba. I like Marshall Jr. as a late steal. Love Jason Marshall Jr. He was my 6th round pick for Washington in my final mock draft on commanderswire.com. Why not solidify the edge? I really wanted to. Like I said, Nick Scorton at 34 is a fantastic pick. At 29, like I said, I really like it. So I definitely would. Trey, I like Trey Amos too. But I know a lot of fans would really, really want TreVeyon Henderson at 34. And that makes sense. I know we're super high on him. J2 Tumaloa, love it. I think 29 is too high for Winston for me, Paul. I'll go back to you here in a second, John. But yeah, Kevin Winston went at 54. 29 is just too high for me. I really think he'd be there at 61. I think the injury is going to knock him down a good little bit. Femi Oladeja almost made it to 61. I would have took him. I would have took him at 61, but he went at 60. So I went in Makuba. But I like Makuba too. A lot of people are high on him. John's favorite interview. At the Senior Bowl, Josiah Stewart is really high up there. Former Chanticleer, Coastal Carolina, Sean's up. But he's just you can just tell he's a leader. I would really like Josiah Stewart at 61 too. I think he's super underrated. Who else impressed me a lot? Kyle Williams impressed me. I think Josiah Stewart blew it out of the water. I think him, Jalen Milroe. That was actually my favorite interview. Jalen Milroe. Love Jalen Milroe. Not just because I'm an Alabama fan, but damn, he's such a good dude. Milroe, he speaks so well. Like he's just once again, you can just tell he went to Alabama, coached by Nick Saban. Like absolutely love Jalen Milroe. Such a good dude. Winston was already taken at 61. Sadly, Paul. Loving the draft so far. Very realistic. Thank you, Charles. Thank you. So we got Trayvon Henderson, Andrew Makuba. Look at DJ Giddens. Love Giddens. I don't think he makes it to 99. This is tough. Anthony Belton is so intriguing. Savion Jones. Jones is a long, strong defensive end whose best traits are relentless effort and length. Sounds like what we look for. Make him a natural fit as an odd front defense while he lacks a pass rush polish to be a consistent disruptor. Is capable of delivering splash plays each week as a versatile rotational lineman. Dang, who just went? Oh, Gelati just went. So did Dorian Strong. That's all right. Let me see who's left at edge. Now, Princely's probably gone. He's got to be. Yeah. So David Walker's coming up. Q Robinson, Antoine Powell Ryland, I like. I didn't really watch much Tyler Batty or Baron Sorrell. So I might go. God, Anthony Belton is screaming at me because he's really good. There's not a lot of good tackles in this class, but Belton's really good. But also Torrey Horton. This is tough. Savion or David Walker. Yeah, I don't think Walker makes it to 128, so we'd probably have to snag him here. Or Savion. Savion Jones, not Williams. Man. I mean, they're completely different players. Savion's 6'6", 280. Walker's like 6 foot. About that same weight. But, oh, that's a tough one. Because like 128, who's about to be there? Miles Frazier would be fantastic. Justin Wally. Justin Wally is a sleeper too. Noel should be. Dang, no, he's taken already. Noel must have shot up the board too. Noel Williams, 86. Wow, he's worth that though. I just hate to see it personally. Jacob Parrish is really good too, though. I like Jacob Parrish. Super feisty. He's small, but he's feisty. But I like the corner value a little bit later. So let's go Savion Jones. I'm gonna go with the size. We'll go with him coming off the edge. DQ gonna work his magic. Even if it isn't like a stand-up pass rusher. That's majority of what we've met with this offseason. 128. So we got our running back, we got our safety, we got our edge. I would go Mello. Steady experience cornerback, adequate bills, true lack of stickiness. I didn't get to watch a lot of Mello. I would go Mello, Frazier. I'm telling you, I really like Wally. Oh, I love Peoples. This is probably Logan Brown too. Dang. Felton. Shoot, Pat Bryant. That's my guy. This is probably where you have to take Quincy Riley if you want him. So let me look at wide receiver, corner, offensive line. And that's it. I mean, Frazier's definitely the best player on the board. Logan Brown's probably second best. Ty Felton, Pat Bryant. Damn, Quincy Riley's down to. I don't think there's no way he goes to 178. No way. I would go. Yeah, I'm probably gonna go Felton. I'd probably go Felton. We love Ty Felton. And then 205, Jake Majors, Jason Marshall. Jason Marshall's too good to pass up on. I'm an official Jason Marshall Jr. stan. Jason Marshall Jr. It's so hard to say. Bam. 245. Love Cam Horsley there. Love Teddy Buchanan there. Jamin Dumas Johnson. Holland Pierce would be fantastic there. I don't think he'd last that long. Carson Vincent's fantastico. Joshua Gray. I don't think Chandler Martin's even in here. I don't think they put him in. Yeah, they didn't. Which is ridiculous because I'd take him over half those guys. I would go Simba Jose kicker. Yeah, if we're talking about best value, Teddy Buchanan would definitely be the guy. He's fantastic. There's no way he lasts that long. Yeah, he's awesome. Super athletic, dude. Super, super athletic. I mean, he'd be a fantastic fit. God, I don't have it in me, man. I don't have it in me to take a kicker. So I would go, caps up 2-1. I would definitely go Teddy Buchanan. He's so good. I would love him in that linebacker room. All right, so if we trade back with the Giants, trade back from 29, we get 34 and 99. I love getting 99. That's fantastic. Traydon Henderson, that's not a D+. Andrew Makuba, I think he goes before 61. Davion Jones, Ty Felton, Jason Marshall Jr., Teddy Buchanan. That's a haul. I like that a lot. I don't pay attention to these grades because that's a really good haul there. But just showing you like what we could probably get trading back. I do like Borregales. I like Ryan Fitzgerald too, man. But I would much rather just sign a kicker after the draft. I don't have it in me to draft one, especially with the picks we have. Like, I like the later value in here. I would love the value. Yeah, I agree. Henderson takes offense to another level. I mean, I just taking him at 29. If I knew we were going to trade back at 61, cool. But at 128, the trade back value, there's not much there. I'm cool with taking Trayvon Henderson if I know we can trade back at 61. But if we're just doing 5 picks, I'm like, damn. But he's so good. He would make so many plays next year. Trayvon Henderson would be a fan, like an instant fan favorite. So this is an incredible draft. I agree, Random. Appreciate it. Shabba Charles said, smash that like button for your boy. Appreciate it. Run it up, y'all. Tomorrow is the big day. I don't know what y'all got planned, but like I said, I will be live for the entire draft Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It is already scheduled on the channel. So if you haven't already, go hit the thumbs up on those. Get ready. Hop in that live stream tomorrow. I will be here. I'll have it up just like this. I'll put the ESPN recap here where it shows the picks, not the actual show, because your boy's channel will get deleted, but I'll have it here and I'll be watching the draft on my other screen. So don't worry, I'll have it on my TV, I'll have it on my phone. But we're gonna be watching the entire thing, y'all. So we're gonna be reacting. It's gonna be fun. If y'all remember the free agency streams we did, the free agency streams were lit. 6 hours long, 7 hours long. I think one was like 8. It was nuts. But tomorrow's gonna be crazy. Saturday's about to be a long day. So tomorrow we're gonna do the draft. I'm gonna write an article afterwards. So it's gonna be a long night. And then Friday, same thing. And then Saturday all day. So let me know who's going to the draft party too. I know there's one tomorrow night, which I went to the one last year in DC. That was fun. And then there's one Saturday. I think it's at the Harbor again. I went to that 2 years ago, and that was a blast. So let me know who's going. I want to see like pictures and stuff too. So like mention me on Twitter, Instagram, whatever. Adam Peters loves his late round players. Why waste a shot on a kicker? That's how I'm feeling. I think we do need a kicker, but I want to see what AP can do with these, skill positions or like linemen or whatever. I just want to see what he can do with those late rounders. Paul said, "Fire mock to close the night. Get that rest this weekend. It's gonna be a cardio workout. I'm gonna hit the gym early tomorrow. Tomorrow's gonna be a productive day. Ready for the draft. Love Chandler Martin. I hope we do draft him. O lineman at 61. I almost took Belton. It was very tempting. Or was he at 99? I can't remember. But I'm all for always getting linemen and defensive linemen. All for it. Hopefully y'all enjoyed the stream. Got a lot out of it. And enjoy the mock draft, the quick last mock draft. I always say final. We always do one more. But holy smokes. Check it up on my messages. Let's see. Kai said the draft ends on Saturday. My birthday is Sunday. An A draft would be a great gift from Washington. Happy early birthday. Can't wait. Pull up. That's a good time to have a birthday right after the draft. Eric said, excited for tomorrow, not that nervous considering we still have Rivera making these decisions. I'm actually, I last year I was nervous, but like this year I'm not nervous. I'm just excited, which is a great feeling. Probably still not going to sleep tonight, but oh well. It's for the love of the game. Like I said, guys, pull up tomorrow. I will be here live during the draft, every single pick. Even if Washington trades back, I am not getting off the stream until they finish what they're doing on TV. So pull up, y'all. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I'm ready. I might do something during the stream. I might do like a giveaway or something. I don't know. I got to think of something quickly. But in the process of moving, so we'll see. Got a lot going on. But appreciate y'all pulling up to the stream, y'all. Much love for the support throughout this offseason, y'all. I mean, insane offseason. This has been so much fun. And then it's time for football. OTAs just started. We got camp coming up. I'm moving back at the right time. Like I said, I'll be at practice. I'll be at training camp. Probably get media access. We'll see. It's cooking. But appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Get some sleep. Peace.